Welcome everybody, it's Gull Khan here, Money Mindset Expert, and I help entrepreneurs to break free from the limiting beliefs, to reverse their money shame and to blast through the money blocks so that they can live a life of unlimited abundance. And today we have the amazing Dawn. Now I'm going to mispronounce the surname, aren't I? How do you pronounce the surname?
Schleiser.
Sheezer. Okay, Dawn Sheezer here, and she's going to be talking about her experience of being in the mastermind and what she has experienced thus far. So Dawn, welcome, and how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Dawn, tell everybody what you do and where you're from and why do I love you so much?
Sure. So I'm from Texas and I work in HR, and I'm currently building a coaching business for spiritual women to help merge the spirit and business acumen.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us, Dawn, what was your life before you joined the mastermind and what actually led you on to joining the mastermind in the first place?
So even though I was a successful professional, my husband was a successful professional, we kept finding that we kept running out of money. And there was no reason for it. There was no logical reason for it. But at the end of the month, we always found that we were really tight. And then with starting my business, nobody was buying. I was putting it out there and nobody was buying. So I was introduced to your work through another coach that I work with. And I'm like, you know what? I bet this is a block. Once I started going, I went through the 5-day challenge. And when I did that, I realized, okay, these are blocks. And that's why we're not able to move forward.
Yeah, it really is. I think the 5-day challenge, the Millionaire Mindset Makeover Challenge, is quite profound because it does give you those aha moments. Oh, okay, there's a reason why I'm not being able to go to the next level or move beyond here, because I have some internal things that I need to sort out first, which is a great awareness to have it. And even if you don't come to work with me, honestly, the 5-day challenge is brilliant. Okay, so what exactly about me allowed you or thought that Gull's my coach, Gull can definitely help, because I can't do anything. I always say I don't do anything else, I just focus on money. So what made you pick me as your coach when it comes to money?
I love how direct you are and how straightforward you are about it, and just how real you are with, hey, this is what's going on. This is how you fix it. You either do it or you don't. Coming from a corporate background and with you having a law background, that was a great fit because I was like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I'm unlike most of the spiritual or law of attraction gurus. I don't beat about the bush. I talk very fast too, so I'm about to get the results now, and it's the quickest possible route to getting the results. So let's cut out the BS and let's do da-da-da-da, and then you can get da-da-da.
Yes, and I love that. And so going through your challenge and seeing that you were like that, I was like, yes, I want this.
Awesome. So now, okay, I'm so glad you mentioned the fact that you're from corporate background and I am from the legal background. So that is so miles apart from the kind of energy work that we do, which is very woo-woo stuff, especially the energy clearings. So how did you find my energy clearings and what was your experience, going through them?
Yeah, so I've always been very compartmentalized in my spiritualness. I was spiritual outside of work, and then I was somebody different inside of work.
Yeah.
And that wasn't working for me. So I started working with some different coaches, worked with Steph Lagana, who introduced me to your work.
She's lovely. I love her.
Yes, she's amazing. And she, through working with her, started helping me integrate. And then when she introduced me to your work and I went through the 5-day challenge and experienced the clearings, I was like, oh, this is what it looks like to put kind of this logical corporate background together with the spiritual, knowing that you've done that with the legal and seeing kind of that. I was like, okay, this can be done. And that's why I signed up for the mastermind, actually, is to start moving those blocks so I can start merging those two things together.
Yeah. And how did you find the energy clearings themselves? I mean, did you get physical reactions to it, or how did you find them?
Yeah, they're amazing. So during the clearing, I always feel really warm. Like I always get a really good sense of warmth. But afterwards, you can physically feel what has been like taken out and moved away. It's like, I always tell people, it's like I have a bookcase and I can always tell when the books that aren't any good have been removed and replaced with a better book. Like that's kind of how it works. And I literally feel that in my body during the energy clearings.
I'm so glad you said this, because the one thing that everybody does feel is the drainage and the tiredness, and that's because we have shifted so much energy and we've put in so much new positive high vibrational energy that it takes your body literally 48 hours to 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours, about 2 to 3 days to fully integrate before you come back alive and okay, I'm back to normal. But you do need that transitionary period, because we do such intense work with these energy clearings, and these energy tools are super powerful.
Oh yeah.
What did you find? How did you find the manifestation course? Because that's very unique to me. And now energy tools, my energy clearings are unique to my particular one is unique to me. But there are other energy clearings out there, and the different tools have different effects. But the manifestation course is my baby, something that I've come up with. How did you find that?
So I love it because of the group energy. So I remember the first manifestation call that I did, I was trying to get somebody to pay me because I had an outstanding invoice for like going on, I don't know, like 2-3 months. And during the manifestation call, that's what I asked for to manifest, is that being paid. And I would say with probably 72 hours, I got a message saying, hey, this will be in your bank account in the next couple of days.
How awesome.
Yeah, it was incredible. But what I like most about it is it's not just, sometimes in manifestation you can feel like you're doing. With the group, it's really more about receiving, and you can feel, I felt very kind of held and seen and comforted in the group. And so it was easier for me to be true about what I wanted and then be open to receiving it, because I knew I had support. And for me, that was the biggest kind of difference that I've noticed in those group manifestation calls.
I'm so glad you said that. So, and I am very particular about, as I think everybody knows this, I am very particular about who I allow into the mastermind. So the group collective energy, I'm like mama bear around it. But this is the reason why, because we don't want to contaminate it. We're not saying people who are not our vibration, are not good people, not at all. It's just that if the wrong energy comes in, then it could disrupt the flow of the energy that is within the container. And therefore it's it's very common for me to say, you're not there yet, or your energy is not right yet, or I'm not sure I can help you at the moment. And I say that, and I make sure that people know this from before, that I may not work with you. Please don't get offended. I'm very picky, and I think I've come to the stage in my business where I can be picky with my clients, and therefore I ensure that this container that I work with, I mean, there are lots of other small programs like ETC and Millionaire Foundations, whatever, where people can come and join, and it's not a big issue. But with Mastermind, because it's the collective group container, which is doing a lot of the work, especially when it comes to the manifestation calls, we have to be very careful. And the group, and then that, because when we are in a manifestation call, I do manipulate everyone's energy, and I do collect everyone's energy into this container. Therefore, your energy connects with everybody else's. And it's like having a hug with everyone collectively together. So when you walk away, a bit of their energy remains with you, and that is why you feel supported and together, and you feel like it doesn't matter what is outside happening, you can come to the group and share whatever. It doesn't matter how bizarre, how out of the world, and how wacky you feel safe and protected, because this group will take care of you. That is what the community is, and it's super powerful. And this is why I am so particular when it comes to who's able to come into the mastermind. Your financial matters are not important. It's whether your energy is right for the group that I'm careful about. So once again, what was your experience of when you had those, everybody has those up and down moments. How did the community support you?
The Facebook group is incredible. So I think every time I've posted in the Facebook group, or I've had an issue and I've gone to the Facebook group, I've seen somebody else posting the same issue, and loads of advice and support and cheering each other on. I think that's very unique to this program, because a lot of programs, you get a group and it either is just really quiet except during events, or it doesn't quite have that same kind of supportive vibe. But this one is very it's like with the group manifestation calls, you feel very supported, you feel very connected to the other people, and you can say whatever is bothering you because you're in a safe space. And I love that.
Yeah, it's a fabulous group of people, and the kind of people that you want to hang out with, you can be friends with, you can go for a coffee with them, etc. So they're amazing human beings, and I always say I attract the best clients ever, and I feel honored and privileged to be, to be their, to be called their coach. And I'm only their coach when it comes to money. Honestly, most of them are super amazing people that I could be their student for whatever they do, because they're experts in their field, and I could easily become one of their clients for their things. And there are, I know that one of my clients, it became my, my, well, not my coach, but she took over, and she does my branding. And there is another voice coach in there who actually I've signed up to one of her programs, to improve my speech, or whatever however I can do, because especially on stages and so forth. So they're amazing people in their own right, and I don't take it lightly that they've come to me to be their coach when it comes to money. But then I do believe that when it comes to money, I'm the bomb. All right, so it's amazing that you feel so supported and great with both the manifestation calls and the energy clearings. What have been your greatest wins so far by being part of the mastermind?
Well, the first thing I noticed was just lifestyle shift, and it was really subtle. So it took me a couple of weeks before I started realizing, oh my gosh, we have money left over at the end of the month, and we're not like having the conversation of, okay, how do we stretch this? Like, it took me a minute to realize that had happened, because the shifts were subtle, but they were continuous. And then I noticed, my husband and I both feel much, much more easy around money. I find that it's coming to me a lot easier. The money avatar thing is amazing. Like, it is probably the biggest tool that I use, because anytime I need it, I just say, hey, could you stop by for a visit? We need to do this thing over here. And it does.
And that's exactly how you should use the money avatar, which we did in the makeover challenge we're doing at the moment. We did that yesterday. That's on day 4. Exactly what you just described. Treat it as a friend and say, look, you know what? I need to chat to you. Just can you pop over for a moment? And it says, yeah, sure. And it comes over. But there's no longer that need, like, oh, you have to come. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. There's no longer that kind of needy, clingy energy. It's like, oh, I miss you. Can you come over, please? Yeah, sure. Let's go and let's have a cup of tea.
Yes.
That is the kind of energy you have around money, which is superb. I love that. I love that.
And I will say that has probably been the single biggest transformation in how I view money and how I relate to money. And so, like, right now, I have a 6-figure offer on the table from a client that just reached out yesterday. I haven't posted in the group yet.
You need to share that in the group.
Yes. So just things like that. And it wasn't something I worked for. It was somebody who found me and said, hey, I think you would be a great fit for this. So I'm noticing more and more of that, which is the complete opposite of how it was before.
Yeah. So, I think this is amazing. So I want to make this clear that you do a lot of work. So the mastermind is 12-month long commitment, but you've only been here for 2 months. So the shifts start happening early on. It doesn't take months and months for you to see the shifts, but you do have to do the flipping work. Excuse my language. If you're going to sit in your room and expect me to do the heavy lifting, I'm going to say no. You have to do the work. But then my promise to you is the shifts will come and the manifestations will come, and it will come from sources which are you don't even know from it. It will be unknown sources. But the beauty is they'll come with ease and grace. So this person, you're the third person to say this. So I was speaking to Leslie, and this job offer that came to her, they approached her, they found her. Same thing with Nancy. This ideal opportunity has come. The person has sought her. She hasn't gone looking for it. It's come to look for her. And now you're telling me this opportunity is coming to you, not you going out for it. And this is what the universe does. It brings opportunities to you. But all 3 of you have been in the mastermind since November. So you've only been here just a couple of months. So that's how quickly things can start shifting.
Absolutely. And I noticed for me, the biggest shift started after the first 3 modules. So doing the forgiveness, doing mom, and doing dad's story around money, those 3 things right there is when I really noticed it just blow wide open, and actually going back and redoing those a couple of times just to deepen that work has been so good and so freeing.
Yeah. I mean, forgiveness module is, oh my gosh, this is a doozy. I really do throw you into deep end, but you come out the other end and you feel so much better for it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
your ego has calmed down and it's more in check. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons that you take away from forgiveness exercise, because your ego will play up the most in here saying, well, no, I'm justified, I'm right, this person was wrong. But you have to calm it, tame it, and realize you need to have this connection with divine energy and let the ego, calm itself down. So that's the beauty of it. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, Marla, for doing that. Fabulous.
Well, it's funny because I have this little ghoul that sits in my head that anytime it starts, going down that way, I hear, do you want to be rich or do you want to be right?
That's my favorite thing. Rich? Do you want to be rich or do you want to be right? Choose to be rich.
Exactly. I'm like, I would like to be rich, please. So we're going to do this over here now.
I love that. Mini goals everywhere. Mini goals in everyone's head. Oh, how fabulous. I can make a mini gold doll and just have that saying again. You want to be rich or want to be right? Choose to be rich.
Yes.
Okay, lovely. Okay, so now obviously we're very clear, and I'm very upfront about the fact that being part of the mastermind requires financial commitment and time commitment. Okay, I'm not sorry about it. I don't hide behind the bushes about it. What would you say to someone who thinks, this sounds really good, but I don't think I can financially commit to it or commit to it by time? It just doesn't seem that I can do it right now. What would you say to that person?
I would say do it. I was that person when I got on the 15-minute call to kind of talk to you after the challenge.
Yeah.
I had that thought. I'm like, this is probably going to be a very edgy investment for me right now.
Yeah.
However, that being said, the ease that I have with just money coming in and out, the offer that I got, like all of those things together, you do so much shifting that it's already paid for itself.
Yeah.
And it's been 2 months.
Yeah.
It's been 2 months.
Fabulous. So
yeah.
And I think that one thing that we need to remember is, yes, it's when it comes to time, the time's gonna flow anyway. So the time's going to pass by anyway. So year down the line, what are you doing? Are you in the same place or have you moved into a different spot? So that's first thing. When it comes to money, when you make a commitment, the universe will provide for you. It's simple as that. It just really will. And that's where the faith comes in. So if you make a solid commitment, when you think, I'm going to do this no matter what, the way will be made available to you and the money will come to you. It has to come. There's no choice about it. But you have to make the commitment first, take the leap of faith first before it happens. Would you agree?
Completely. I would. And that's exactly what I did. I'm like, I'm doing this. Here you go. Let's move forward. And I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical at first. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this because my gut tells me I should do it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And it was so worth it. It has been so worth it.
Awesome. Now, what advice would you give to someone? Because I'm not sure if your partner is on board or not, and they can say, well, I want to do it, but I don't think my partner would agree, or they would think it's a silly investment, or it's a crazy investment, more like it. What advice would you give to them?
So I actually had this conversation with my partner, and he's funny. He is open to the woo, but he's not like all in. And so when I told him, I'm like, hey, I want to do this program with this lady who does energy clearings around money. And she used to be a lawyer, and I gave him the whole spiel. And he looked at me and he goes, well, we can't be any worse off than we are now. I'm like, thanks, hon. He's like, and if you think it'll help, then go for it. And I did, and he's even actually using some of the tools, just going through, and because he heard me, he heard me doing I'm going to say it wrong,
yeah.
He heard me doing that. He's like, what is that? So I told him what that is, and now he kind of does that in his head, when like I can see him reciting it. He doesn't do
that. Awesome. Right, so that's brilliant. Oh, that's fabulous. So what I say is you need to take the leap of faith first and move forward first, and anybody else, you can't force them, you can't change their opinions or ideas. They're not, maybe they're not ready at the time. When you go ahead and move yourself energetically, and when people see the energetic shift in you, people follow suit. And this is where you have to make the decision yourself, what's right for you. And just sometimes it has to be, you know, you say, I'm doing this, I just am, and move ahead. And I know I've done this, and I wouldn't recommend something to anybody without something that I've done myself. So when I was married at the time, my ex was not a woo-woo person. He just isn't. So when I did the intuitive life coaching training, and that was a large investment for me at the time, it was £10,000. I don't know how much it was in dollars. I remember working out it was going to be £10,000. That was a large investment because I wasn't working. So I was going to use his money, but I committed to it. And then once I did and I shifted, he and now my whole business is centered around that point. Obviously, I've gone and learned other trainings. He can see the value, and obviously, so, you know, people sort of, you know, understand why it was. And I just knew in my gut feeling, I have to do this. I just have to do it. And the money came. The money did come. It wasn't easy initially, but as you start doing stuff, as you start putting more faith into the universe, money comes to you, and it just does. And that's something that you have to, I think you have to build that trust factor with the universe that it has got your back and it will provide for you.
Yeah, and he was very much that way, because he's seen me go through another program where he's so funny too, because he's even like, you need to go meditate now. Go. So it's exactly that. He's seen little shifts over the time that he's much warmer to it now than he would have been 2-3 years ago. Yeah.
Fabulous. So Dawn, do you have any parting words for anybody who's still on the fence or who's still thinking yes or no about mastermind? Do you have any parting comments for them?
I would tell them to take the leap. I really would. This has probably been one of the scariest and best things that I've ever done. So it's really helped me. Money is one of those things that terrified me. Like, I didn't like it. I didn't like to deal with it. I told my husband to do all the bills because it like panic attacks around money. And now, just 2 months in, like, the switch has been so amazing that I haven't had a single like just panic moment when it comes to bills or buying what I want or paying obligations. And so I would say that if the people watching this, if you are someone who isn't, 100% in, I would do it. I would hands down do it.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Dawn. Dawn, so where can we find you? Can you give your social media handles and tell us where we can find you?
Sure. I'm on Instagram at square8oraclecards.com, and then site of the same name, square8oraclecards.com.
Fabulous. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and ideas and experience about the mastermind. And for everybody watching, thank you so much for watching us. I'll be back with another mastermind member who will share their experience about their experience of the mastermind, and especially about energy clearings and the manifestation course. Until the next time we meet, thank you so much for watching us. Take care and bye for now.